My name is Ayodiji Ajishokwe, presenting Political Update. Well. Before we go into the conversation part of today's program, which of course, the elections are over. Well, the elections are done, but certainly not dusted. I mean, there's still issues pertaining to the elections cropping up all over the Nigerian landscape. So we're going to be talking about these issues this afternoon. But before we do that, let's take political roundup across the union.
This is the roundup. Former President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Olusegun Obasanjo, has said that the incoming administration must work to facilitate national morale, rearmament and reconciliation, following the divisiveness occasioned by the just concluded general elections. This said had the potential to bring about healing and to save Nigerian youth who were angered by the shortcomings of the elections. Obasanjo stated this while delivering a speech at the conference in Abuja, organized by Next Year and the Ibadan School of Governors and Public Policy themed From Elections to Governance and Performance. Chairman, Senate Committee on Cooperation and Integration in Africa, NEPAD, Senator Chimamroke Nnamani, has lampooned those involved in the plot to put in place an interim government as part of moves to truncate the nation's democracy, saying that it is not only treasonable but an affront to the sensibility of Nigerians. In a statement today, the former governor of Enugu State described ING as absurd and that it has no place in the modern-day democratic rule, submitting that those behind the plot are enemies of Nigeria. The Plateau State Governor-elect, Caleb Mutfwang, has promised to incorporate local hunters and vigilante organizations into the peace and security architecture of the state to complement the fight against insecurity. Mutfwang stated this in an interview with newsmen in Abuja during a farewell courtesy visit of the outgoing British High Commissioner to Nigeria, Katri Onalieng, by a team of peace advocates led by Reverend Dr. Gideon Paramalam, President and CEO of the Paramalam Peace Foundation, where the parties reflected on the partnership to support the peace-building initiatives and reconciliation in Nigeria. And that's the roundup.
News, sports, entertainment, top 100 music on your Remedy Radio dial. Solutions 93.9.
Do not touch that dial.
Thank you so much for staying with us. Solutions 93.9 FM is still the station, and Political Update is the show this Thursday afternoon. Yes, I told you the elections are over for year 2023. The national elections that consisted of the Senate, House of Reps, and the presidential elections. And of course, the state elections that were held on the 18th March after a 1-week postponement. 28 governorship elections across the union and 36 state assemblies. Yes, done and dusted, but the dust is not going away. It's still flowing into our eyes. Well, I do have with me this afternoon, live in the studio, a gentleman. Yes, a young man, you can call him a young man when you're talking in terms of numbers. But when you talk in terms of his exposure and all of that, he might not be exactly a young man. Yes, he is a youth activist, he's a public affairs analyst, and he's also a politician. Yes, he's a politician, just beyond being a political actor. He's also a politician, and of course, a member of the People's Democratic Party. And of course, he's also engaged in the financial sector. Well, he is Comrade Olamileko Muyosoroluwa. I was warmly welcome you to our studio this afternoon.
Yes, thank you so very much. Good afternoon. the people of the city of Ibadan. Oyo
And
State.
beyond Nigeria and the entire global space, we are being listened to and watched across the world. Yes, I warmly welcome you here. Yes, you want to tell us just a little bit about yourself?
Okay, thank you so
You are
very
not
much.
particularly new on this
Of course,
station.
yes, Solutions FM 93.9 is my station. It's our station. It's a station to tune in anytime, any day.
All right.
And I am dignified comrade Muyo Soroluwa Olamide Idris. I'm the crusader of the he for she, a feminist. I run a non-profit organization. I'm an activist, a public affairs analyst. I'm also a politician. I've once aspired to be at the House of Assembly in 2015, in 2019, and in this 2023 election. And so we couldn't get the ticket, and so we are hopeful by 2027 we will be at the MO of Affairs at the state level. I'm also a believer, an advocate of good governance in the city of Ibadan.
And
State,
of course,
Nigeria,
you're also a
and the world.
student.
Of course, yes. I'm a student of
Nigeria's
University of-
premier university,
yes.
not just the university,
Premier,
but Nigeria's
exactly.
premier university.
Exactly.
Yes, the elections are done and dusted. Let's get nearer home. You worked actively in the re-election of Engineer Seyi Makinde for the second time in office as governor of Oyo State on the platform of the People's Democratic Party.
Yes.
What precisely was your role? I think you're a member of one committee. Yeah, you're a member of a committee, right?
Yes, yes. Before the election and during the campaign, I was nominated to be a member of the campaign council for the youth,
Okay.
under the leadership of Honorable Dr. Salami Diko.
All right.
He was the chairman of that youth mobilization, and I was the chairman of the media.
All right.
And then all through the campaign, across the 33 local government in the United States.
You are there, 33 local government?
Exactly.
Oh, wow.
Exactly. So it wasn't so very easy like that, and we give glory to God that all our efforts during the campaign really reflected in the March 18 governorship election. And so today we can give thanks to God that His Excellency Engineer Oluseyi Abiodun Makinde FNSA is now being re-elected as
The
governor
governor for another
of the
time of
state,
4 years.
another term.
Was there any particular period as the election drew nearer, and I'm talking about, okay, that your heart skipped or, fainted, that this could be close, this could be narrow, or anything could happen?
Yes.
As a human being.
Yeah, of course, yes. I remembered at a particular town area during the campaign where there was a clash, and then we were like, why? Why is the other political party doing this? And towards the election, a week to the election, there are voices, there are forces working into the heart of the people to really frustrate and change the mind of the people. And of course, naturally, humanly, you'll be like, of course, yes, we know that the governor has done so much for the good people of Oyo State in the last 4 years. And so we believe that the power is in the hand of the people.
And they will be reasonable.
Reasonable, very
And
reasonable.
are people always reasonable when it comes to casting their ballot?
Of course. So,
They can be
and that-
emotional, they can be unreasonable.
And so we were, personally, I was a bit looking at it that, with what is happening with the game that opposition is playing on religion and all that, and it's it was changing the narrative. It was changing some of the minds of the people. And at a point, 2 days to the election,
politicians are against him.
of course,
The
you know,
godfathers are
they're
against
against it, the forces, the gigabands of this world and all that. And eventually, they couldn't achieve it because the people now know better.
Did that 1 week sudden postponement, we didn't hear it until about evening time, did it make any difference?
Of course, yes. I am going to tell you why that sudden postponement was a divine, mysterious happening. In 2019, something of such happened that there was the election was supposed to happen March. It's supposed to happen in February.
Yeah.
And so there was a postponement that happened, and then they had to postpone the election till March 9 in 2019. So again, the elections are also hold 2 weeks after the presidential. And so by God's intervention, by God's mysterious power, it was postponed because God wanted to perfect a lot of things and also allow some people who call themselves the big fish of this world to truncate the good work of His Excellency. And so March 18 came, the people showed up, despite the fact that there were fear of insecurity. The people, there was voters apathy, yet the election held free, fair, credible, peaceful, and it was an overwhelming result that has ever happened in the history of Oyo State.
How do you mean?
Of course, 517,000 votes in a state where you have other political parties, in a state where you have the godfathers of this world, in a state where we have
560 something thousand.
Exactly. Is very massive, very, very massive, despite the fact that the people didn't even come out as expected. And again, you remember that during the campaign, Mr. Governor said initially that his target is between 600,000 and 1 million votes. And so if there was no fear of insecurity, that target would have been achieved.
We tend to say people did not come out, or there was voter apathy.
Yes.
Now, what we call voter apathy, I think something changed in the way, don't you think something changed in the way INEC conducts election? It used to be accreditation first, and then you come back to vote.
Exactly.
And then there will be a large number of people gathered around
Lined
the polling
up.
station, about polling points and all of that. But this time you come and do accreditation and vote simultaneously. And then you just go, people are just going away. And then some who are interested will come back around the time polling will end.
Yeah.
Not that, maybe that was, I moved around. You look into those ballot boxes, in spite of scanty minimum number of people, you will still see the ballot boxes, substantial ballot in them. Is that why people thought there was voter apathy?
Of course, you remember that a week to the election, there was a crisis that happened around the Olomi, Oluyole, Ibadan Southeast area during the campaign. Exactly, and there were 3 people that were killed. And so people had it in mind that, is this how the elections of that Saturday is going to happen? And so I give it to the INEC that the accreditation and all that were running concurrently.
Yeah.
And
they arrived in good time.
On time. In fact, around 7:30 to 8, they already set. And so, in fact, at a point, at a polling unit where my own polling unit where I voted, Ward 4, polling 021, Jegedes compound, that was Ojagbo, Lanase compound. It got to a point around 12:30. We had to go out there to make it to canvass our people and say, please come out and vote. Everything is peaceful. There's no insecurity. There's no breakdown of law and all that. People have to come out hearing that. We have to even use bearing and all that to say, please come out, because some people were actually sleeping because around after 2 or to 2 there was light, so some people were actually maybe sleeping or just
Watching
having nice
movie.
time and all that. So we had to go out to rooms, to go and tell the people that please come out and vote. And again, we could have had that vote more if there was no idea of insecurity.
No threat.
Not true.
That threat came just like 48 hours before the originally scheduled
Date of election.
All right. Now, the elections are done and dusted in Oyo State. It doesn't look like, at least at the gubernatorial level, we don't have any litigation of that
At all.
But for you, what lessons does the governorship election outcome, what does it hold for you?
For me,
The euphoria is over.
Yes,
This is reality now.
You see, I've just come to realize something that what this governor has done, Engineer Seyi Makinde. It is good to be good. It is good that you are doing well, and it's also good for you to be conscious of what you are doing, because the people are watching, the people are noting it, the people are focusing on what you are doing. And so it was a payback time during that election. And so there was nothing extra, there was nothing magical, there was nothing extraordinary that Engineer Seyi Makinde has done to the group of us, but a service to humanity, a service to the vote of confidence given to him in 2019 to go run the affairs of the state administratively as a democratic elected governor. And so he has gone there to perform the errand, because he is an errand boy to the group of Oyo State. He has gone to perform the errand, the service that he's been sent to go and do for the group of Oyo State, and he was doing it as expected, without fear of contradiction or playing kinds of hypocrisy or not, or for the people of Oyo State to vote him again. He has also said it in many interviews that, look, even if he does not win this election, he's going to, what he only has at that government house is only his bag. He will carry it and go. At the point before he even grabbed the ticket of the second term, where crisis of Godfather and all that were playing out, he said, look, you cannot even frustrate this second term ticket for him. He's not desperate to win this ticket or to even win the election. If it's not possible, he will carry his bag and go back to his business. Again, he's just coming here to make a change to the group of Oyo State due to what they've passed through. And so for this election that has come and gone, it pays to do good. It pays to be conscious of what you are doing, because the people are watching. So it was a payback time for that election.
Two things. He was not desperate, because he has a second address.
Exactly.
Nigeria's political landscape, or your state political landscape, there are not many politicians who have second address.
Very few.
Very few.
Very few.
So desperation will set in. Anything goes. Now, it is that desperation that has been the bane of our electoral process. We'll come back to that. The governor took grave political risk in the G5 transaction.
Exactly.
And of course, before that there was crisis within the party, because the party stalwarts, he was not. And what I mean they expected is patronage, access to access. Let me just call it access and patronage. The governor has admitted errors. He admitted. I think a few days before the election, there was an interview. He said he admitted, and even after that, he said he admitted errors. That he was working with the mindset of the private sector. You set goals, and then you drive toward those goals,
yes,
and every other thing. But that is in politics and governance. It is not like that. He has admitted errors. What changes? If he's not going to be playing a little more of politics, will governance not suffer?
You see, governance and politics is like a word and opposite. It will take a reasonable, strategic, democratic leader to balance the equation. Governance is different from politics. So when you need to
Because
pay
what the
politics,
politicians will be, look, we have seen it. Politicians will be awarded contract, they will not deliver, and you are not. And the governor can't do nothing. I've seen it in this state.
of course, that's why I told them. He said, "Look,
So will it tolerate such?
It's not business as usual.
Will it tolerate that?
Yeah, never. It's not business as usual. Even that's why.
So if he awards a contract as patronage to a politician and he's mobilized and he doesn't do the job, will he get him arrested?
Of course, the way Mr. Governor give out contract to individual, it gives based on credibility.
Okay.
It gives based on trust. It gives based on integrity, financial muscle, financial capacity. If you are not fit, you don't have to, and that's why the office of the due process in our state is really working. It's really working. So because there's going to be a bidding and a number of discussions going to happen. So if you have not fit on that point, you'll be checkmate. So even if he's going to award a project or a contract to a politician, that politician has to sit tight because he now knows better that this guy called Seyi Makinde is not a gentle guy. He's a
gentleman.
He can be a gentleman, but he's very firm. Like Governor Wike said, he said, "Look, as gentle as Seyi Makinde is very dangerous when he's keeping quiet."
Former Governor Ekiti State said that too in the struggle for the national vice chairman.
So you could see that. So now they now know better that if you want to deal with this man or is dealing with you, you have to understand him. You have to make sure that you deliver according to what he's expecting from you, so that you will not even embarrass yourself. Because already the governor has already put in place some measures whereby even if it's him that is corrupt, just come and arrest him. And that's why he has to establish a Oyaka in the state. That look, if you find anybody in any form of malpractices or corruption, go take them, interview them, and all that. So, if it's likely he gives a politician a contract or a project to do, they must do it diligently.
Now, we had Omitu to 1.0.
And we are still in Omitu 1.0.
Yes. Hallmarked by 4 pillars: security,
Health.
education, growing the economy.
Yeah.
I noticed that a few weeks ago, a few days before the election, the security apparatus, people, I think the divisional police headquarters, they all got new vehicles.
Yes, 74 branded vehicle. First time. A great feat. In fact, it really helped them during the election. And so of recent, he added another vehicle to the new divisional police headquarters built by Agbakin of Olonda, Chief Venetic Akeka. Very massive edifice. On the spot, Mr. Governor gave them a new vehicle for that police station. And on that spot, he also said, because of this road and this station, he had to say, okay, I'm going to award the 8.3 kilometer of road from Ojuri to Olorundaba under this Omitu 1.0.
Apparently, that must have been in the works before now. They must have been in the plan. They said it to be awarded before May 29.
Yes,
so
of
that
course.
means you cannot suddenly start it and get it done. You know the processes of governance and all of that. That means, anyway, that's a beautiful one, 8.3 kilometers.
Yes.
That will take it out to government.
Yes.
And Ojo.
Yes.
Okay, that's in the place of infrastructure. I love to look at growing the economy. You know, you see, because this is an integrated plan But everything must result in growing the economy.
Exactly.
That is the bottom line. Nobody wants to hear we bought on 200 vehicles for say,
Yeah.
what did this result in? We built 1,000 schools. What did it result in? The bottom line is what did it result in? Growing the economy. That is very, very key.
You see,
OBT 1.0 and OBT 2.0, which will now include solid mineral development
And
tourism. Growing the economy. They say, okay,
Yes,
in the banking, the finance sector, they say, what's the bottom line? What's the bottom line? What's the
yes, growing the economy, I think it's going to be, this governor is a special governor, he's a special leader that he knows what he's doing and he knows what he wants to do. He knows why he's going to that office as a governor before he came up with that pillar. And he made a document available for the world, for the group of Oyo State to go and check it, monitor it, and call them to order if there are any mistake. The security, the health, the growing the economy. Now, under the growing economy, you have infrastructure is there, through the agribusiness is there, and then of recent, the chairman of agribusiness, Dr. Debo, he said annually they are going to be generating 1 billion naira at least from the agribusiness. Annually 1 billion naira, and so we will see that impact
in one location or generally.
Generally, that's why he's saying annually, because all put together, the Oisada, the Fashola, the STEP project, the Nasarawa training and all that, because there are grants that are coming to that sector. There are investors coming into that. So you remember that there was an MOU signed with the officials of the France, in that sector of agribusiness. Yeah. So all of these things, they are I think a partnership program.
There is a park in Oyo.
Yes,
Hub.
Yes. So all of these, they are going to come together to generate so much money and employment for the group of Oyo State. Again, growing the economy. I look at the bus terminal, and then I began to ruminate that, okay, what does it have to do to the IGR or the economy of the state? And remember that when those terminals the governor was embarking on the project, there were a lot of criticism and all that.
The costs and the rest.
But we could see two have been commissioned and has been actively operating, no issue, and is generating a lot of money for the group of for the government. Looking at the PMS as well, the PMS is another initiative that in the history of Oyo State, it used to be NURTW. In the history of Oyo State, government has never made money in that sector, transportation sector, through the NURTW in the history of Oyo State.
Really?
In this, you can check it. The only money they make is to remit that money to the governor alone, not the government. But when this government came in 2019, it came up with that initiative of PMS. And then there was a disciplinary committee, there was a PRO, there was a secretary and all that. Today, that PMS is generating 60 to 70 million.
Every day.
60 to 70 million in a month to Oyo State. And the target is 500 million. The target is 500 million, and that target of 500 million is going to be expanded in OMED to 2.0 by the time that system is being reviewed and expanded. Another way of growing the economy. Now, looking at, of course, some people will ask, and they have even criticized him, that say, federal government project is the airport. The airport road, the airport revamping, remodeling and all that. It's a federal government project. Why are you doing this? And he told them, and he said, look, the people living around that area, are they federal government people? Are they not the good people of Oyo State? Are they not Nigerians? So, the international park named after Dr. Oluloye, former governor of Oyo State, is going to generate money. The airports under 2.0, where you start seeing that there will be a plane will start flying from here, from Oyo State here to London, to America, to other international countries from Oyo State, when you do not need to travel to Lagos or Abuja to take your flight outside Nigeria. Now, it's another way of generating economy, growing the economy. Again, looking at the fact that apart from maybe Abuja, in Oyo State, every plane that will land there will be taking fuel. It's first of its kind. And that's why the establishment, commissioning of the 500,000 capacity of aviation tank was done. And the day of commissioning of that airport revamping, a plane actually took fuel. And that aviation was concession to a station, a well-known station in Oyo State here. And so that is another way of growing the economy. When you look at the money I saying hold that used to be a dead trap for the people of Oyo State, even for the people of Okiogun, is now a free road that you can ride even in the night. Okay. And for the first time in Oyo State, no government has ever done it.
Okay.
Governor Makinde has done it by connecting all the 5 geopolitical zones together.
For me, the bottom line is, what is the increment, the value addition in growing the economy? And the 2 critical areas the governor has added to 2.0 is
solid minerals,
development, and tourism. The gentleman who was the special advisor on solid minerals, who is now commissioner for environment.
Yeah, Honorable Abiodun Oni.
I spoke with him when he was special advisor. We of course know that solid mineral development is under the purview of the federal. You can't do nothing. People just come around and collect license in Abuja, exactly. And you start see them digging and doing anything. They don't pay no tax here, and you stop. They will just produce their license, and that is all. So how is Oyo State going to go about that? I know in Osun, what Osun State government did regarding the gold is Osun State government to apply for license. You understand? Operational license. So, what is the...
Of course, there's something I respect about Governor Seyi Makinde. You know, he's a ready-made man. He's a special species that you can't take him unaware. Whenever he says something that he's going to do, he's going to do it. You must know that before saying it, he must have done his perfect homework. For him to have said, look, in OBT 2.0, I am going to add solid minerals development and tourism. He must have, and he has done his assignment, and he has seen that it is very much achievable. And I know for sure that there's a solid relationship, a partnership with the Ministry of Federal Minerals and the federal government, with the state government under the leadership of his Engineer Seyi Makinde. There's a solid relationship that will help that initiative of him, which he has introduced into the Omnity 2.0. And so I want us to sit back, relax, and watch how it's going to generate economy development for the group of you, and for tourism. You know, Oyo State is so blessed with a number of cultural things, like suspended lake in Okiogun, Ado Awaye, and some other, if you get to Ibarapa, there are a lot of
the festival in
Igbora twins. So even Igbeti,
he's saying the actual
festival. Even in Igbeti too, there, Igbeti is home of the solid mineral. Ibarapa, we have a lot of mountains in Ibarapa that could attract investors. I'm talking about the one we have here in Ibadan, not precisely the cultural center. I know for sure it's going to wear a new look, and I can assure you that with the 2.0, of course, the government is generating over 5 billion naira IGR now. Maybe in with 2.0 it will shoot to 10-15 billion naira every month IGR.
Now I am talking about tourism. Of course, Ibadan too has its own tourist attractions. Tourism, certainly, there must be tourism infrastructure. And those who are, of course, we're talking about good hotels, maybe not necessarily, decent road networks. Of course, if there are not good road networks, you can get utility vehicles, Why you don't put cars on those roads, the companies, investors will get utility vehicles, no matter how bad the roads might be, the utility vehicles will ride smooth. Now, all of this, for the investor to come in, an investor will look at certain things, basic infrastructure, and of course, security is inclusive. And the most interesting part of it is that these are things that are not going to happen and start yielding results overnight. And when I say result, I mean, of course, there will be tax for government. Government will provide enabling environment, and then, of course, might even give a bit tax for the day, but there will be tax. At least people will be coming in. The visitors will be spending money. And of course, the people that are going to be patronizing and all of that is growing the economy, is expanding the economy. But I'm just thinking that that's not going to happen in 1 year. Like the investors now, okay, these are the opportunities that will come in and all of that. Is not working as like a politician. Look, politicians want to do things that people will see and yield results.
Of course.
What he's doing is not going to happen in the next 2 years. It is probably the administration after him that will be laying claim and say, well, we have grown the economy, we have done this, and they will not be referencing him that this is the foundation that Engineer Seyi Makinde laid. He's not acting like a politician.
Of course, you will see that this 1.0, it was an administration to lay a foundation. And again, I'm sure that when the young man was laying that foundation, he was not even thinking about second term. He was just thinking about the state, the development, the progress of the state, because players will come and go, our state will remain.
Oh, certainly.
Obviously, as I speak to you right now, Oyo State has accommodated, precisely in Oyo, in Afijio, right now, an AIDS actor in the industry is shooting a mind-blowing film in Oyo, precisely in Afijio. And when he was interviewed, it was like, look, they have looked around the Southwest and discovered that this type of film that we want to produce, they needed the states that will have the features of the specific of that film, because it has 3 layers: the cultural, the traditional, and the modern. And eventually, when they were searching, they discovered that it's only Oyo State that has that 3 features, precisely located at Oyo Town in Afijio. As I'm talking right now, the Hayes actor, a lawyer, a political office holder, is right in Oyo Town, Afijio, filming. And he said, look, the environment is cool. Again, it has also helped the economy of that environment, even the people of Oyo Town. Like, for instance, things they used to buy, maybe like food or drink, they used to buy like 200. It has increased to 300 naira because of the fact that because of what they are doing. Again, talking about road network to attract investor. Like I said, it is under this government that the 5 geopolitical zone in your state, Ibadan, Oyo zone, Ogomosho zone, Okeogun,
Lower Okeogun and Upper Okeogun.
and Upper, the 1 and 2. The 5 zones have been connected such that you can enter through zone or the other. You can easily do business, you can easily transact, network, and make things happen across the 5 geopolitical zone under this government. Again, as I speak to you now, the Fakpote Ogomosho Road.
Fakpote.
Okay, Fakpote.
Rebidu.
Exactly. It's all good and it's almost completed. In Iwajowa, Ijio, a project of about 1 billion naira plus is ongoing as
Road
I speak to
or
you.
what?
Yes, road. Ijio is in Iwajowa local government.
Yeah.
As I also speak to you now, Circular Road, the
113.
second largest in Nigeria after Kaduna is the first one, which is 114. Second largest is Oyo State, 110. You can go there now and see what this governor has done. And of course, for some of us, we will not know what that Circular Road will do for us until it is completed.
Senator Rashidi Aduwale created that vision.
Of course, that's why the governor named it after him and also a GRA. I remember recently he also named the university, the first technical university that was initiated, established, constructed
Conceptualized.
by the late governor. He named it after him. And so it tells you that
Honor to whom it is due.
yes, that government is continuing. Even the former governor, Dr. Victor Oluloyo, he named the airport road on after him. He named the international park after him. And Larry Adigun GRA beside BCS there is making sense. Ajoda is also named after Senator Rashid Lajoda, and it's making sense. So this governor has made us so proud.
In the field of education, I know for sure that Oyo State has over 600 secondary schools. Salaries are paid. You can imagine the number of teachers that will be in 600 secondary schools. And of course, you probably have double that number of primary schools. And that's huge. It is huge in terms of infrastructure. I don't understand why government will have to bear the burden of maintaining those structures and replacing some of them. You go around. That's why you still see some of these schools, that they evolved from the days of free education in the times of Chief Obafemi Awolowo. Government funding education alone by itself, it's not sustainable. There must be a vision of, like the government college model that this government is doing. The Old Students Association, they have adopted school. They are not involved in management, but they are involved in infrastructure and other stuff that will help the school. And then, of course, the government has also done the governing boards, have you?
Of course, yes.
Reconstituted the governing
Exactly.
boards. Because it's not sustainable. Secondary schools. I've been to schools. I say this because I've had to deliver for some, companies, CSR, delivering CSR.
Yeah, community projects.
Yeah, by some companies. They want to say, so I've seen so many of these secondary schools. and we'll do certain things, and they will say, this is actually what we need, and all of that. Infrastructure. The governing boards, okay, yeah, they're doing good too, but digging deep at the foundation, the environment in which students are learning, this is very important. Good books, yes, but 600 secondary schools, government alone, that's a very serious one. Is that a possibility? You know, I'm just thinking between you and I. That's a weighty word, and it's a very difficult one. Well, let's talk about health, a little bit about health.
Yes, you know, health sector has really been improved, unlike before. And again, for the first time ever, there are so many first thing in this administration of Governor Seyi Makinde. You know, he's the first governor that will introduce a primary health care to be in every ward, in each ward.
Let me do pardon me because of a time. The people of Oyo State, they rewarded him. The people of Oyo State. I heard the chairman of pensioners saying, it is not Seyi Makinde that is contesting. We are the ones that
Contest, exactly.
I saw him like that. And if people commit to you like that, they expect something in return.
Exactly. So much. So, and that's why he has not in any way.
And the man on the street, I heard a taxi driver say, look, this man, I will like him during that COVID, did he lock us up?
And he did shut down Oyo State.
Yeah, those little things around there. So they expect more.
Yes, of course.
Okay, what do you want to tell the people of Oyo State regarding that? They expect more. Much more.
Exactly. That's why.
What assurance?
That's so much that he did for the group of Oyo State. You know, the payback time had the reflection during that election. And so, in Oyo State, almost 351 wards has been put in place in Oyo State, where you can just walk a 1 kilometer. And of recent, the international partner, for France, they gave the government, they gave the government a grant into the primary health care, which will be judiciously used and injected in the primary health care facility, equipment, and other infrastructure on health in Innovative 2.0. We will have it better and better in Innovative 2.0. And, you know, there are a number of hospital, general hospital that has gained renovation. The one in today, even renovation of Adioyo Hospital here in Yemetu, and the one at Ring Road, the one in Oyo Town, you know, and some other locations like that. And, you know, again, this project that they are doing now, insurance, health insurance.
OSHA.
Exactly. It has really added to the health sector.
That is another area that government building hospitals, putting drugs there, and people think it's not going to work. OSHA is a great solution, but it has to be deepened and expanded.
Of course, yes, I agreed. And I want to challenge all politicians out there.
Political office holders,
commissioners.
Adopt 10 people.
Exactly. Even from your ward, exactly, or from your polling unit. Yeah. You can do that.
Adopt 10.
Yeah, so the rep, the senator, the House of Assembly, the commissioner, the SA, the chairman of different agencies under this government of Seyi Makinde, Governor Seyi Makinde, please, you are there because of your people. I am appealing to you and encouraging you and charging you to please contribute and adopt
10,
that.
20.
That initiative. 10, 15 is not so big for you to do for your people.
You pay once a year.
And that's very cheap. So cheap. This government has done so well in that aspect. Really
well. I have been in conversation today on political updates with Comrade Olamilekan Moyosoreoluwa. He's a youth activist, a public affairs analyst. He's not a strange face on Solutions 93.9 FM. He's also a politician in the People's Democratic Party, an ardent supporter of the city governor, the re-elected governor, Engineer Oluwaseyi Makinde. Well, it's been an engaging and insightful one with your political updates this afternoon. Like the governor said, the reward for hard work is more work.
More.
And believe me, the people of Oyo State are expectant. And of course, they are wishing him well, but they are also expectant. Thank you so much, Olamilekan Moyosoreoluwa.
Thank you for having me.
God bless you. God bless our union. Thank you so much for listening and watching. Bye for now.
Sorry, why I am 93.9 FM.
الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله